Hello, welcome to the Author Lifestyle and Book Talk Show by Eye Opener Productions Global Network Limited. With me on the show today is Author Kay Bradley. James Bradley is a published poet. She's been published in magazines, anthologies, and two books with third coming out soon. She's a widow and has two adult children, three grandchildren, and three great grands. She is also a non-profit consultant. She holds degrees in English, psychology, early child development, and social welfare administration. She's a native Kentuckian and resides on the water overlooking the Mopchak Bay in Virginia, USA. I am delighted to have you on the show, Author Kay. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation to come on the Author Lifestyle and Book Talk Show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
It is my honor. Kay, with your experience in so many career paths, I wonder and would like to know how your career experiences have influenced your writing.
Well, I've been in the service business helping people who are unfortunate. And so it has given me a lot of empathy for people that are in need. And so that has helped influence my writing. It also has given me optimism because I have seen so many miracles in my work. And so my poetry always seems to have a cheerful, upbeat, optimistic tone to it.
Okay. So, how was your experience being like as a mother, grandmother, and great grandmother? And how has it affected your writing?
Well, I started writing in high school, actually, and I got married and I started having my family and went and started working. So I didn't do any creative writing until about 3 years ago. And my son, Rob Bradley, convinced me that I should get back into writing. And so he hooked me up and showed me how to use Facebook, which I had never been on before. And he's inspired me that I can be a writer. And um, I have had a lot of encouragement from my grandchildren and my two oldest great grands. So I'm very fortunate to have the family support that I need.
Yes, yes. I know you have a very amazing great grandchild who we all know as Drew, and it's one of the cutest babies I've ever known. Hey,
Oh, I was just going to say he's a joy to me, that's for sure.
yes. So, I'd like to know how you've developed the passion for writing, and for how long have you been writing?
Well, I started writing in high school, which has been 60 years ago. And
Wow,
I
60
made,
years.
yeah, really. And then I started doing technical writing because much of my role in nonprofit management has been about bringing money in to the organizations. So I've written a lot of grants, many millions of dollars of money for grants that I've successfully wrote, but that's technical writing. So I just got back into creative writing about 3 years ago, and my creative juices are flowing now.
I read your poems on Facebook, and I am awed by your creativity and the amazing way you word your poems. It's really fantastic. I love your poems, Mom Kay.
Thank you so
Can you,
much.
you're welcome. Can you please take a few minutes to give the audience a brief overview of your lifestyle as a poet? And in the moments when poetry isn't what you're working on, what are your other engagements?
Well, I spend a lot of time with my family, a lot of family get-togethers and celebrations. Um, as far as my lifestyle, I usually start writing in the morning with my coffee. And I try to write a couple poems every single day. But I only write if I'm inspired. And so, but I'm almost always inspired to write. It's become a very important part of me now.
Wow.
Well, we live off of the Mobjack Bay, a beautiful, large water in Virginia. And so I often write out on the deck overlooking the water, or at the window if it's bad weather, overlooking the water. So that brings me a lot of inspiration, and it shows me the wonders of God who give us all the nature in our life. So that's very inspiring to me. And I this is kind of new to me, the way I've started back into writing. So I'm kind of developing as I go. And I'm transitioning some. I'm going to continue to write poetry, but I'm starting to write short stories, and I'm
Oh,
working on a novel. So I'm growing
oh,
as a writer.
oh, that's
Yes.
huge. Oh, reading the novel. I just hope that I will be able to read and also share my novel with you because I'm also working on a novel. It's going to be titled Halloween in Africa, Fantasy of the Realm. It's a fantasy fiction book, and I'm working towards 2026 and getting it published then.
It's a challenge. It's a different, it's a whole different set of skills to write
Yes,
a novel.
yes.
And you kind of have to start with the end in mind and work your way through the storyline.
Actually, when I started writing, I was a prose writer. I started writing short stories, and then and that was when I was 8 years old. And when I was about 10 or 11, yeah, I diverted to poetry. And so now I write both prose and poetry. But in a long time now, I've written more poetry, and I'm trying to, work on my prose again and try to write my first novel because my other books are poetry books and novellas, and so I'm trying to get up my first novel together, and I just hope that the world will love it.
Well, they are going to adore you. You are very talented. We're very lucky to have you part of our poetry world
Thank
out
you
there.
very much.
And
Thank you very much,
you
MK.
you have started at a young age, and you only are going to get better and better and better.
Afraid so. So it's time for our guest author's lifestyle highlights. Please stay tuned. Thank you for
My
sharing your lifetime highlights with us, also Kim Bradley. Those are very beautiful photos, and I know that our audience will enjoy each and every bit of them. Mom K,
Well, I got, I'll tell you a little bit about my life. I got married at 17. I had
wow,
Rob when I was 19.
that's so
And before
young.
I got out of graduate school, I had my daughter Victoria. So I've always been able to multitask.
Wow.
So I was married for 58 years before my husband passed away. And as a widow now, I'm rediscovering who I am as a person, because I pretty much was what my husband wanted me to be all those years. So I'm stepping out a bit, and I actually have a new love in my life now, which
Wow,
is
that's so
awesome.
sweet. That's sweet. I have been very opportune to know your son, also Robert Bradley, and he's one of the most amazing souls on earth. And you're blessed to have a son like him. He keeps inspiring people, supporting everybody, and I pray that God blesses him always. Mom
Yeah,
Kay,
he's
I
an
have,
inspiration.
yes, he is. He's a big inspiration. If you had an opportunity to time travel, would you rather travel to the past to correct your mistakes or travel to the future to know what is holds for you?
Oh, I would always travel to the future. I think our past mistakes are uh, lessons learned, and we experience our wisdom sometimes through mistakes. And you try not to make the same mistake again. But I would travel to the future. Hopefully, I wouldn't be too old in the future, but I would travel to the future and see what adventures are ahead for me.
Wow, I love your answer. Okay, would you like to read an excerpt from your favorite poetry book by any contemporary author of your choice?
Yes, I one of the authors that I've been following throughout her career is um, Gurjeet Kaur. And as you probably know, she's
I
somebody
know
that's special
her.
to my
Yes, and
son.
she's a fabulous poet
And
and she's a beautiful soul.
yeah, and the poem that I'm going to read is called Ultimate Destination. And
Okay,
are you ready for the poem?
of course I am.
Okay. Words dipped in nectar pure penetrate deep in my soul. Your unending river of ecstasy, relentlessly your magic pour. Walking through untrodden path, with ominous candles flickering, I tread with utmost care to reach my ultimate destination with utmost zeal and perseverance. And that is by Miss Gurjeet Kaur.
Fantastic poem. Really fabulous. I'm going to read one poem by author Kim Bradley, and it's titled Into the Light. Wherever you go, my heart must go too, because I'm tethered with your tongues of I love you. Love doesn't always make sense. An enigma with twists and turns, sliding into an abyss of emotions with many a bliss and burns. For every rainfall, a brilliant rainbow appears, giving hope for the future, but vision is clouded with tears. So the North Star must come from the soul, right? A cascade of falling stars with embers to lead you from the darkness into the light. Amazing work,
Thank you.
Mom Kay. Truly
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Would you like to read one of your poems for us to enjoy?
This is a poem that I wrote recently. It's called True Friends. They build you up and help you heal. They hold your hand when no one else will. They see the best in you. They help you see it through. They know when a hug is all you need. They soothe you when your wounds start to bleed. They don't focus on your every fault. Their compassion makes your sorrow halt. When days are long and nights are weary, they make even the darkest day cheery. And if I lived to be 110, I can never thank you enough for being my friend.
I love the poem.
Thank
Beautiful. I also have a work of mine that also speaks about true friendship. And I think having a true friend in life is very important because they're able to support you and guide you and just be there to encourage you. I think it's really important to have a true friend in life. Amazing work, Mom Kay.
Thank you. Thank
Would,
you.
would you would
I
you like to
consider
say
you a
anything?
true friend. I consider you a true
Oh,
friend.
wow, this means a lot to me. And I consider you my family. You and also Robert and Madam Gurjit, you're my family. And I am truly honored to have known you all.
Thank
Would
you.
you, would you like to showcase your book?
Um, I don't have them right in front of me, but
Okay,
my first one
that's
was
no problem.
the first book was called Mountain Mama, and it was dedicated to my mother, who was born in the mountains, and she was a very person with great faith. She had she had six children, and three of them passed away before I was born. But she always believed that God was taking care of her children in heaven. So she was a great inspiration to me. So I wrote about my values that I got from my mother. And
Wow.
then the second book is called Love Heavy, Love Light. And it kind of showcases my marriage because getting married so young, um, you don't always know the person that you marry as quite as well because you've known each other as young adults. And as your marriage grows, you have good days, you have light days, and you have heavy days. And the secret is trying to get through the heavy days so you can enjoy the light days. So a lot of my poetry is about my husband and our journey together for 58 years.
Wow. Thank you very much for sharing, Mom Kay.
But do it for my sake. Just need the closure to spare me some heartache. Say you'll be alright. Say you'll be okay. Say you'll be okay. I know now what I should have done. 'Cause I beat myself up about it. Count down from 100 to 1.
Before you go on the show, would you like to share your social media handles for people to follow you?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay, I said before you go on the show, would you like to share your social media handle for the viewers to follow you on social media?
Sure. Um, I really write on Facebook. And I belong to 5 or 6 different poetry sites. But the one that I write the most for is the one that Rob developed with the cloth
Apart from
and
same class.
yes. And I also do Poetry Haven and several other sites. So I now have a following of over 2,000, which is incredible. And I always try to respond anytime someone posts something about my poems. I try to follow up to thank them, but also to share any insight that I think is appropriate.
Okay. Would you please tell us your Facebook username? And that's for the audience to give you a follow on Facebook.
It's just under K Bradley.
Okay.
Also, I will give you my email address because I can also be contacted through my email. And it's lowercase k.g.brad, B-R-A-D, at USA.net. So I look forward to your audience getting in touch with me. I would love to connect with them and we can share our love for poetry.
Yes, absolutely. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fan base, your family, your friends before you go on the show?
Yes, I would just like to say how much I appreciate the support I get from my family and friends, especially after I lost my husband. It was even more important to me. And I feel very lucky. I feel very alive, and I feel like my future is ahead of me. And I appreciate you interviewing me, Elizabeth. It's quite an honor. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. You're always welcome, Faye. Thank you for coming on the show. It has been a fabulous time today on the show with you, Otoke Bradley, and I hope that I would have another opportunity of hosting you on the show again in the near future.
Thank you. I look forward to that.
Me too. Okay, this brings us to the end of today's episode of the Author Lifestyle and Book Up Show. Thank you for staying tuned to this show. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel called Expressing Love for Literature, like and comment on our videos. I am Elizabeth Ogunmodede, a 16-year-old entrepreneur, author, and your host on this show. Sending warm regards from Nigeria. Bye.
Bye-bye.